Hello, it's Veronica and Naomi, and we'll be discussing the things in the Rainbow High Rebrand from least worst to worst. So it's kind of a ranking video. First, we have the Color and Create dolls. Here is the picture of the leak for them. Okay, did you see the picture? What do you think? Personally, this line in the rebrand feels the most harmless. It's just the original Color and Create dolls, but all with the original Rainbow High face mold, without the probably thigh swivel, and without the wrist articulation. So it's just those dolls with a little bit more limited articulation, and well, they're meant to be customized. So they're obviously not that bad. They're obviously not the worst going into this. And the clothes on some of them are definitely different from each other. So it gives you more clothing pieces to maybe dye or do stuff with or use in your restyles. So that makes them very versatile. And now moving on to the next thing, as we don't have much to criticize about this part. We've got the fashion packs. Okay. So now they saw what they look like. Honestly, while they don't measure up to the quality of the original Rainbow High clothes from before the rebrand, they still are decent enough for playline doll clothing. They're actually we feel surprisingly detailed for what they are, even if their styles really aren't very mature and really don't look that good with the Rainbow High line. That their only problem is being unfashionable, really. Honestly, they're probably those pieces of doll clothing that you'd probably just want to cut up and modify into other clothes to make it look better and more interesting. Our favorite fashion packs have to be the ballet recital one and the one with the pink party dress, because we feel like those could work with a lot of dolls. And then the others, we feel like they exist. They don't look like the most atrocious things we've ever seen. So, yeah, they aren't the worst. And now moving on to the next least worst thing, or the third least worst thing, the Winter Wonderland line. I know it's just a leak picture, but honestly, their faces really don't look bad. Their hairstyles are very creative. It's nice to see Bella in the line. And we just hope that whatever snow gimmick comes with them doesn't ruin their clothes. Because we can see some of those clothes being put to good use, probably, if you buy stuff from the rebrand. That line doesn't look bad. It doesn't look as atrocious as other lines. And yeah. Next, we will be talking about the Rainbow High Junior High Summer Party dolls. Did you see a picture of them? Well, they aren't the worst, because other than lacking wrist articulation and the thigh swivel like they had before, and also having flat feet, that line hasn't had its quality affected as much as the others, it seems. It seems to not be as different. And the slumber party pajama theme is cute with it. Like, it's a junior high line. It's one of the lines that's more kid friendly. That's like themed around like the kid characters. So it isn't bad for what it is. Although we do question the fact that with Bella, you're supposed to put stickers on her face. Why? That is so weird. Wouldn't you want to keep your dolls nice and not like put like stickers on their face and stuff? But other than that, that one isn't a bad line. Even if it doesn't measure up to one of the things that we mentioned before. And now onto the next worst thing. The core slime dolls themselves. Okay, did you see like the like kind of promo picture for them? Well, we don't have any of them here, so we're just kind of going off of the pictures. But from what we've seen of the slime dolls, they are a huge downgrade from their fantastic fashion releases and every single one of their character releases. That's why they are so low on this list. Like, they just don't measure up to that. They don't measure up to their original Series 1 dolls. They just don't look like themselves. And it just feels wrong. And the slime gimmick. That's a whole nother can of worms. That is just as annoying because it's like, you don't want to mess up your dolls. You don't want your dolls getting next to messy stuff like slime. Or like having to make big messes with glitter just to make this slime. And yeah, we've seen like several reviews where people made the slime and it made a big mess. So just no. And the lack of wrist articulation and the thigh swivel, it's like, yeah. We've heard people say their faces aren't that bad. But other than their faces not being the most atrocious thing in the whole world, their fashions just don't measure up to their past dolls. Their articulation isn't as good. They're all characters you could easily find better dolls for at probably better prices even. And it's like, even if you have to get them secondhand, and it's like, our doll mommy would rather get more of the fantastic fashion releases than the winter break releases of those like characters than the like trash rebrand releases. And after this is a line that really makes us mad. The Sparkle and Shine Moonbows. Not to mention that the pets make no logical sense in the Rainbow High line and there's no established lore for them. So there's that fundamental problem there. But on to the Moonbows and why we intensely dislike them. Do you see the picture? The Moonbows line. It was leaked, and we hope MDA could maybe improve that concept they have for them, because their fashion is so bad. It is not cohesive at all. Other than their heads possibly having potential, and their clothes looking a little bit okay as far as individual pieces go, their fashion has no cohesion. And the lack of articulation and the whole like snow globe type gimmick within their bodies, you think that's gonna stand up to a kid playing with them. There's a chance that if a kid breaks them, you're ruining the doll and you're just gonna make a big mess. Because we know Novi stars have had that gimmick before, and it's just, and we haven't heard of a nose starts breaking like that, but these ones, if a kid is too rough with them, you're gonna end up having a big mess to deal with. You're gonna have a lot of stuff, negative consequences for it. Something else we don't like about them is that they were announced very soon after Shadow High's, like, possible cancellation. Really, MGA, that is just rubbing salt on the wound right there. Like, we never got an orange Shadow High doll, but you make an orange Moonbow's doll. And then the pink one looks literally like a combination of Carla. Not Carla, no. Kaya Hart and Bella. As for the purple and the blue ones, they don't look the worst. Their clothes at least look salvageable as far as the individual pieces go. And the heads don't look too bad. And I wouldn't be surprised if people rebodied them onto, speak of the devil, Shadow High bodies. But other than these dolls' heads having rebodying potential, and retail potential once that they don't have the gimmick bodies, these gimmick bodies just don't feel like a good idea. Some kid could drop them and break them, or like maybe they're like meant for like adult collectors to keep them like displayed forever or something. Cause because there is a genuine concern of them being too delicate if not done right. Like, that is a gimmick that isn't easy to pull off, because you do it wrong, you're doomed. You're dooming your whole line. And also, there's no lore or canon for them having this gimmick. We know MJ will probably come up with something in the show, but it's like, no. This line is not for us, and it's just, it feels insulting after Shadow High's cancellation. So congratulations, MGA. You made our doll mommy intensely upset by rubbing salt in the wound of our doll line's cancellation. And now on to the one line that could possibly be worse than this line that looks like a Shadow High knockoff line. The budget swim dolls. The budget swim dolls are easily the worst line in the rebrand. They just don't work for this doll line. They're like quite literally like budget dolls. Like, I mean, like literally Sunny and Violet having this poly or really low grade nylon hair that like feels drier than normal. It's like, it's horrible. The hair on those dolls sounds so bad. Other than the hair on those dolls being notoriously terrible, you have them all in these basic swimsuits with these basic swimsuit cover-ups that also double as a towel. So all you're getting with these dolls is one is swim dolls, a swimsuit, a pair of shoes, a little plastic handbag, and it's just, and these weird little like towel wraparound pieces of fabric things that are like just all the same for each character but in different colors. And also, not to mention, why is Skylar wearing a denim swimsuit? Just ew. What kind of fashion sense is that? Sunny's looks basic. Violet's looks like the pieces could be salvaged. Ruby's looks like Laurel would probably wear that to the beach if it was a bikini. But like, for the price point this line is at, for $15, like, come on. we did a review on one of the Monster High budget dolls. Actually, two of them. A Frankie and a Claudine. And they were amazing for their price points, which was around like 17 or so dollars. And it's just MGA, step up your game. But if Mattel can make budget dolls with full articulation, quality clothing, and attention to detail, and extra accessories, so can you. Stop cheaping out with these swim dolls. Because we get it, they're budget dolls, but they're so lazy. They're so low effort. It's like they just don't look that good, other than some of the faces being pretty. And it's just, yeah. The fact that with a lot of these rebrand dolls, people have to like take their heads off them and rebody them just to make them look good. No. This is why we don't stand by the rebrand. Our doll mommy isn't the type to tear a doll's head off. Or like take it apart. Just to steal another doll's body for it. She likes to get dolls that she likes from the get-go, that have decent articulation from the beginning. So she doesn't have to rebody them and can keep them as is and treat them as her babies. This rebrand is making it so that for some of these new pretty faces, you've gotta get duplicate bodies somehow and just rebody their heads onto them. It's not right, you know? Taking the head off another doll feels mean, and it's like, it's just not nice. Especially when you're a collector and not really a full-on customizer. If you're a customizer, it's not as big a deal, but when you're just a collector trying to collect these dolls and you don't really want to modify them, you want to keep them and their bodies intact, it's different. You don't want to mess up your girls. You don't want to mess up your dolls, and it's just, yeah. As for our personal least favorites, while the budget dolls may be the most objective least favorite, our personal least favorite is those Moonbow dolls. Like, some of those clothes as individual pieces have potential in a Rainbow High line. But making like this weird Shadow High Nogi Stars knockoff line thing just feels insulting to Shadow High fans everywhere. It feels like it's really like rubbing salt in the wound of Shadow High's cancellation. And it just doesn't feel right. Well, mysterious audience, that was us talking about the rebrand and its leaks and just kind of ranking the new lines that we intensely dislike. So, goodbye. I love you. Naomi loves you. And that was the video. I hope you like it.